get ready for a rapid-fire rundown of the biggest global headlines. We're diving deep into the launch of the International Fund for the Restoration of Ukrainian Media in London, a crucial lifeline for journalism in a war-torn nation. This is a game-changer for independent media covering the conflict, and we've got all the details on why it matters. Then, we're heading to the UN General Assembly, where Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian is making waves, blasting US and Israeli actions as peace hangs in the balance and sanctions loom. What's the real story behind Iran's rial hitting an all-time low and the diplomatic tightrope they're walking? Next up, we're analyzing Donald Trump's impactful speech at the UN, dissecting his worldview amidst a rapidly shifting international order. From his take on global disputes to his stance on Russia and the Gaza conflict, we're breaking down his every word. And finally, we're talking about a critical call to action to save the International Criminal Court and uphold the rule of law as proposed U.S. sanctions threaten its very existence. Don't miss a single second. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. A new lifeline for Ukrainian journalism launched in London. In a significant move for press freedom, the International Fund for the Restoration of Ukrainian Media, or IFRUM, has officially been launched in London. This vital initiative was spearheaded by Reporters Without Borders, RSF, in collaboration with several key Ukrainian NGOs, including the Institute of Mass Information and Detector Media. The primary mission of IFRUM is to provide strategic and impactful support to independent media outlets in Ukraine. This funding is crucial for them to continue their essential work, covering the ongoing war, exposing corruption, monitoring foreign investment, and combating Russian propaganda. The fund has already secured an initial contribution of €400,000 from official Brussels and aims to raise a staggering $96 million. RSF's project's director, Louise Ilyuinbich, emphasized that supporting Ukrainian media is not charity, but a strategic investment in Ukraine's democratic future. The community is buzzing with hope that this initiative will provide the long-term, pressure-free support these brave journalists desperately need. Stay tuned, because the geopolitical landscape is shifting dramatically, and our next story reveals a powerful statement from Iran's president on the world stage. Iran's president blasts US and Israel at UN amidst looming sanctions. In a fiery address to the UN General Assembly, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has directly blamed the United States and Israeli attacks for dealing a grievous blow to peace negotiations, all as Iran braces for the potential reinstatement of UN sanctions. This marks Pezeshkian's first global forum speech since the intense Israel-Iran conflict this past summer, a period that saw the assassination of key Iranian leaders and derailed crucial talks with the U.S. Pezeshkian decried the savage aggression and violations of international law his country faced. His appearance in New York comes amid last-minute diplomatic efforts to halt the reimposition of sanctions over Iran's nuclear program, though these efforts were complicated by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's rejection of direct nuclear talks with America. The EU's snapback mechanism is set to reinstate sanctions unless a diplomatic breakthrough occurs by Sunday. European diplomats have indicated little progress in recent talks, suggesting the sanctions are likely to proceed, which would severely impact Iran's already struggling economy, already reeling from the rial hitting a new all-time low against the dollar. The international community is closely watching to see if diplomacy can avert further economic turmoil for Iran. From the halls of the UN to the center of global power, we're shifting focus to a former U.S. president striking remarks that could redefine international relations. Trump's UN speech, a world order rethink amidst rising tensions. Former U.S. President Donald Trump delivered a powerful address at the UN, doubling down on his vision to reshape the international order. Trump highlighted disputes he claims were resolved through U.S. action, not UN intervention, and labeled climate change predictions as the greatest con job ever. He also criticized UN migration funding and urged NATO allies to cease Russian energy purchases, a point echoed by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. During a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump controversially stated NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft entering their airspace. A bold stance amidst heightened Russian aerial activity over Europe and cyberattacks targeting NATO states. Meanwhile, a Security Council meeting on Gaza saw Trump implore leaders to stop the war in Gaza immediately and secure the release of hostages, though he expressed opposition to the recent recognition of Palestinian statehood by several Western nations. This all occurs as Russia and China intensify their hybrid tactics, potentially filling a void left by perceived U.S. disengagement from multilateral institutions. The world is watching closely as Trump's America First approach clashes with the complex realities of great power competition. Now, we turn to a critical institution fighting for its survival, facing unprecedented threats that could dismantle decades of international justice. Save the ICC, a global plea to uphold the rule of law. A coalition of international civil society organizations has issued an urgent plea to states parties of the Rome Statute to reject proposed U.S. sanctions against the International Criminal Court, ICC. These sanctions, initiated by a non-state party, are seen as a direct assault on the court's mandate to prosecute atrocity crimes and hold perpetrators accountable. Civil society groups warn that sanctioning the ICC would abandon victims, weaponize the global financial system, and create dangerous double standards where power dictates justice. They argue this move marks a perilous turning point, potentially transforming a system meant to hold the powerful accountable into one that shields them, threatening the very foundation of a rules-based international order. The potential impact is devastating. Sanctions could cripple the ICC's ability to function, severing access to financing, blocking essential services, and jeopardizing ongoing investigations and the protection of witnesses and victims. Organizations are urging states to publicly reject the sanctions, engage bilaterally with the U.S., and implement domestic blocking measures, like the EU's blocking statute, to protect the court and its supporters. This is a fight to preserve decades of progress in international justice, ensuring that no court is safe from financial coercion. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lightning round recap of all these massive stories and your final call to action coming right up. And that's a wrap on today's essential global updates. We saw the vital launch of the International Fund for the Restoration of Ukrainian Media, a beacon of hope for journalism. Iran's President Pezeshkian delivered a powerful message at the UN, challenging global powers amidst looming sanctions. We dissected Donald Trump's impactful UN address, highlighting his unique worldview on international affairs. And finally, a critical global push to defend the International Criminal Court and the rule of law against unprecedented threats. If you found this information crucial, smash that like button, subscribe to Legends Nexus for more deep dives, ring that notification bell so you never miss an update, drop a comment below with your thoughts on these stories, and follow us on all our social channels for behind-the-scenes content. See you next time.